Hey there guys, I'm outside. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and it's a beautiful day outside, okay? Here's my little cat. I don't know if you can see her. Can you see her? There she is. That's Kitty. Okay, so I'm doing something different today because I heard that it was going to be a gorgeous morning, and it is November 3rd, and you know, it's kind of officially winter here. But it's a beautiful day. It's well above zero, and we might even go all the way up to 16 degrees today, which is amazing for November. So, hi Jeff. And I'm so excited, you know, because, well, the Cubs won. I mean, I would have been really happy, you know, because they were both Cinderella teams for so long. But wow, I'm just so impressed with what the Cubs did last night. And you know, and I'm really excited because I'm going to be launching my crowdfunding project for researching, and it's going to be about brain training and its effects on post-concussion syndrome, which is such an important part of my work. I mean, boy, I sure hope, I know we got blocked off there, yes, just now. But the thing is that its time has come. We need to do the research that is going to truly help people. We've got to ask questions about effectiveness of treatment instead of just looking at diagnostics and looking at statistics about who's going to get what when, which is so totally useless. We've got to ask the important questions. So, getting back to today's topic, which is how to overcome disappointment. I'm crossing the street right now, so gotta do that safely. So, I'm heading into my area's ravine, which is one of my favorite places on earth. Oh, I just love my neighborhood. So, the thing is that many people have asked me over time, well, how do you get over disappointments? And I guess looking at what the Cubs did last night, it was such a timely example of how exactly to overcome disappointments. Okay, so where I want to start first is that there are some people who regard themselves as being spiritual, and I've run across them over time. And they say things like, well, don't have expectations. Well, if there's something that you want, and there's something that you're working for that you really want, then you have to have expectations. Because having that burning desire, plus having expectations, means that you have faith that you're going to get it. Okay, so what did the Cubs go through last night? They were up 5-1, and they were and I guess Cleveland started coming back. They were up 6-3. Cleveland started coming back. They actually tied up the game. They went into extra innings. There was also lightning and a rain delay. There was a whole bunch of stuff that happened that they had no control over. You see, we want what we want, but we don't have any control over other people, animals, situations, and events that happen around the things that we want. Okay? We have no control over those things, but we do have control over our own minds. And as a team, they kept believing. And when you have a bunch of people believing in what you do, in what you're each doing for each other in order to attain that goal, the energy is multiplied, I don't even know, maybe thousands of times. But the thing is that when you have the support of other people, when you believe, when you truly believe, there isn't anything that you can't do. There's no such thing as impossible. So, like I said, Cleveland could have won just as much. Thank you so much. Cleveland could have won too. But the Cubs, I guess, wanted it more. They believed in themselves more. They didn't become discouraged by all the things that happened to them. And that really takes strength of mind. It's all in our minds. So the thing is to always hold in your mind that you have what you want, that you've already got it. This might seem strange, but you always have to put things, yes, thanks Jeff, you always have to put things in the present, because there is no past and there is no future. Everything that you do now, including what you're thinking about, what your beliefs are happening right now. And that really is the reason why you have to put everything into the present tense. The thing is, though, is that you can't hold doubts and what you want at the same time. Faith is the substance of things. Yes, that's right, Jeff. You're so right. We cannot hold two thoughts at the same time. We can't hold two emotions at the same time either. So if you want something, but you're doubting that you're going to get it, but you're still saying that you want it, what's going to dominate? The doubt or what you want? And that's what you have to be determined to determine, okay? You've got to be honest with yourself. Are you really afraid that you're not going to get it? If you're afraid that you're not going to get it, you're not going to get it, okay? And it's not hard to prove. I mean, okay, in days when people are afraid of layoffs, for example, the person who is afraid of being laid off, guess what? They get laid off. They get laid off. And the person who, you know, just says, okay, I have no control over what somebody else is doing, I'm just going to do the best that I can, they may get laid off, but at the same time, they have probably opened up other opportunities for themselves, and they get hired back somewhere really quickly, or they stay on the job as long as they actually like being on the job, okay? So self-doubt and desire cannot hold a space in the same mind. You can't do it. So you've got to choose. What do you really want? Okay? And then, of course, you know, people think that we have no control over a lot of things. Well, it's true. We don't, as I just said a few minutes ago. But you do have control over your mind. And even if you are laid off, for instance, what the heck? It's probably a good time for you to move on. It's probably been in your mind anyways, for some reason. So there are always good things that we can take from any situation. Believe me, I've been there many times. But in the last year, I'd say, I've really taken control of the things that really bugged me. And so I would start eliminating those things and start looking for better things, better people to help me, better support, you know, the whole thing. If I didn't like something, I'd speak up. You know, you've got to be brave. For anything that you want, you have to be absolutely brave. So the Cubs won last night. I'm so happy for them. You know, sad for Cleveland, but I know that, you know, LeBron James has broken the spell in Cleveland for them, and that's why they were in the World Series. I'm convinced of that. So I'm hoping for the same thing for the Cleveland Browns, you know, just for the sake of belief. Making an entire city believe. Think of all that energy. So I'm going to be doing the same thing with my crowdfunding project. I want people to participate in helping me to bring forth something that is so important for people who are suffering from post-concussion syndrome right now. Because if you've been in brain injury forums and read, you know, some of the personal blogs of the people who are suffering right now, they are so unhappy. They are feeling hopeless. They're feeling, oh, you know, all this turning about, you know, trying this and that, and no guidance from their MDs or from neurologists who right now feel that they're the best people to talk to, but unfortunately they're really good at being neurosurgeons. They're not so great at helping people with their concussions and their post-concussion syndrome. But people like us, like me, who are working hard on the clinical side, you know, this online course is going to make a huge difference. I mean, this is going to be a little pilot course, a little pilot research. And I'm doing what is called a crossover research project because I cannot bear having a control group who gets nothing. Like, I think there's really something wrong with that model. There's no way that I want to deny anybody access to what could potentially help them with their post-concussion syndrome. So I was talking to a research scientist last week, and he gave me some great news because he understands how I feel. And so he suggested that I do a crossover project, which means that I have, you know, an equal number of people, but I divide the people into two groups. And so the first group goes through my process the first time, and then at a certain point the second group goes through it too. So we can still monitor the group that isn't doing anything, but eventually they will have a chance to do it. Okay? And so that takes care of what I think is an ethical dilemma. I felt so relieved when he told me about that. Today I'm going to be talking to an associate professor at the University of Calgary who is a biostatistician. And so my research friend had suggested that I get somebody like that right at the beginning of my research project. And I'm going to talk to him about the process because I have no idea. Like, I'm an expert at what I do, at helping people, but from a research perspective, I know nothing. But I am learning, okay? And I'm so excited. I am going to do this research project no matter what. I am so determined, okay? I'm going to do it no matter what. And it's going to start on November the 24th, which happens to fall on American Thanksgiving, and go through just before Christmas, December the 23rd. I think that's 30 days. That's a 30-day campaign, because this is a time of giving. And so I'm asking people to give, to support me in this crowdfunding project, because it's time for us to give people the chance that they are looking for. So until next week, thank you so much for watching, and come back next week. I'm going to be talking about the flu vaccine and why it's a scam, okay? It's a major, major scam. Okay, see you next week. Bye.